You see, that's the thing. If it becomes hold on, I'll tell you all about it. I'll tell you the tafsir of the verse as well. Okay, Al-Qurtubi. In fact, this verse is called Ayatul Mukataba. It's a verse which talks about Mukataba. Mukataba, chapter 24, verse 33, is the idea that at the time of the Prophet there were slaves. Yeah, this is well known. How can the slave, if you don't mind, Al-Qurtubi says in his tafsir that a slave, yes, or a prisoner of war, because really what they were was prisoners of war. They weren't really slaves in the conventional sense of racial slavery or anything like that. Yeah. They were prisoners of war that were captured by armies. Those individuals that were in homes, the surah, according to Al-Qurtubi, says, or the verse says, that slave or that prisoner of war or that, whatever you want to call him or her, can demand that they be freed. Now, if the person, Al-Qurtubi goes on to say, if the person, i.e. the slave master or the owner or the boss, says no, yeah, there's one condition, in alima fihim khayra, if there is good in them. According to Al-Qurtubi, if they're not criminals, they will be bypassed by the judicial system in the Islamic state, and according to the Islamic discourse and the tafsir, that slave can basically become free. So in other words, this is a good example, this verse.
Can I read the verse?
Let me finish. This is a good example, this verse, chapter 24, verse 33, of how Islam helped abolish slavery in a way that Christianity could never do that. Because, I'll tell you why, in a nutshell, hold on. In a nutshell, Islam allowed those who were held under captivity, yeah, to be able to go to a judge and say, I don't want to be a slave anymore, I'm going to ransom myself to the slave owner. And then the slave owner, according to the most popular opinion that goes back to Umar ibn Khattab and Anas ibn Malik, the slave owner has to actually, he's forced and compelled to let go of that slave.
Okay, so Hatun, he's saying that actually that verse
and the verse, sorry, one more thing. And it says in the verse, and do not let your woman into prostitution. So it's the opposite of what you said.
That verse actually allows Muslims to free their slaves. So
no, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay. We'll see what you said.
No, I'm saying it forces slave owners to let go of slaves if the slave wants to. Now, if the slave wants to and he draws a contract of ransom, it's called Mukataba, and you can check the verse in Tafsir. Al-Qurtubi says it's called Mukataba. If the slave wants to be freed, and this slave is an enemy tribe, and now he says, look, I want to be freed, so long as there's no criminal allegations and there's good in that slave, then according to the most popular opinion that's narrated by the Sahaba, the companions, the slave owner, yes, must free the slave whether he likes it or not. This according to me, no, she doesn't know, I know. So you ask her, it's not going to make sense. Look, she doesn't know, I do know. So I'm educated, this is edification. Look, if you don't mind, let me claim. So what this is, Mukataba, in this sense, this Mukataba, could be said in and of itself as an evidence that Islam, number one, its objective was to free slaves, and number two, that it did so in a way which Christianity could never do.
Brilliant. Okay, can you respond, please?
So, I am amazed the way you treated your scripture. That is disgraceful. Let me read the verse for you.
So I'll read it out for you in Arabic.
Just a moment. I'm going to look at the Quran and then see what Quran says, and then I'm going to comment on it.
I haven't got a problem reading it for you in
Let
Arabic.
those who find not the wherewithal for marriage keep themselves chaste until Allah gives them means out of His grace. And if any of your slaves ask for a deed in writing, give them such a deed. If you know any good them, you give them something yourself out of means which Allah has given to you. Here's the problem. Problem comes in here. Force not your slave girls into prostitution.
Force not.
When they desire to keep chaste.
Maybe English is not good. Seriously, maybe the English language is not strong for you. Because force not means don't force. Yes. You were saying that Islam says don't put your girls into prostitution. It says in the verse, force not. So it's the opposite. So would you like to apologize for that?
Can I have a little bit?
Would you like to apologize for that?
As we are talking, I'm reading. I haven't finished the verse yet. Okay?
Yeah, but would you like to apologize for misrepresenting my scripture?
No, she doesn't need to apologize.
Would you like to apologize?
Because you haven't finished the verse.
Do you want to apologize?
Let me finish the verse.
Okay.
Do not compel your slave girls into prostitution.
Yeah, do not compel.
When
do not.
Desire to keep chaste in order. Seek the trial good for this world's life. And
so you said let's put them into prostitution.
Surely, after their compulsion, Allah forgives them. don't do that. But if you do that,
Yeah.
Allah will forgive
No, it's
you.
forgiving the girl, not them, not him.
The girls.
It's talking about the girls.
You don't
Forgives
do
them,
that,
not you.
But
Yeah,
if
girls.
you do that, Allah
who forced them.
will
No, the English
forgive
language is
you.
not.
No,
the
it's
problem
bad,
is,
very bad.
no,
It's
no,
very
no.
bad.
Go ahead, go ahead. Go on.
I haven't
Is that
No, it's self-explanatory. The verse is self-explanatory.
Verse says don't do that. If it's done, Allah is all forgiving.
Yeah, of the woman, of the prostitute.
For women.
For the prostitute.
Of the woman, they go through that.
You brought the issues of slavery. Jesus never had a slave. Muhammad had slaves. Jesus never told anyone it's
Okay.
alright while their husband died, please
Okay.
continue to rape
Jesus
them.
never had a slave.
Muhammad
Jesus never had a slave.
Stop.
Jesus never had. Okay, let me show you something
I'm gonna
interesting.
read
Let me show you something interesting.
She wouldn't let you.
Verse itself.
Okay, Hatun, are you gonna let me speak?
Quran. So you spoke. I'm responding.
Okay, so finish that
Surah.
within 30 seconds.
Surah
30 seconds.
24 verse 33 says, don't do that.
No.
but
Give
if
her
you
10
do
seconds.
that,
Go ahead.
that's all right.
No problem.
And the commentary, there is commentary kind of says, obviously the verse is forbidding the vile practice of slave owners who prostitute female slaves and pocket their proceeds. And no less obviously the words Allah after their coercion is forgiving and merciful, mean that Allah pardons slave girls for having unwillingly committing fornication.
Yeah.
The
He pardons them,
outcome
yeah.
from the words, however, is
What's the problem?
such they can be taken to means that God is forgiving
Yeah.
and compassionate to men who prostitute their female slaves.
Who's saying this?
Okay, so
Who's saying this?
This comes
Who?
from the commentary from
Who? Where is it? Where is it?
You don't even know that?
What's that?
So it
No, let me see what is that? What's that? That's no reference. Okay, that's your own
commentary
words.
for the Surah 24.
So what, you've just written that yourself or what?
okay, Hatun, can we have respond to that?
Yeah, okay, let me respond to that, yeah? Now, she said that Jesus never had a slave. Jesus was the author of the Old Testament because according to the Christian faith, Jesus is God, okay? He's the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, all of them are collective unit. In the book of Numbers, chapter 31, verse 18, it says, go into the city and take basically the slave girls, the young girls, as slaves. So not only did Jesus allow slavery, but he commanded to it according to the biblical discourse. So don't give me that. Now going back onto for the children, for the young girls. Now that's according to the Palestinian Talmud. It's according to I've got a whole video on this. You can go back on it, and all of the exegesis say that this is young girls that can be taken for the sexual purpose. Now, having said that, that's Numbers 31:18. Going back to the point about mukataba. I'm sorry, I don't usually say this in debates, so I don't like to say this to people, but here you guys said that Islam forces women to prostitution, right?
Yeah.
That's what she said. Now, she read the verse and she said in a loud voice, do not force your whatever it is your I'm not sure, the slave girls to prostitution. Okay, your captives. It should be captives, isn't it? Do not force your captives into prostitution. Okay. If English language, let me finish. Do not force them into prostitution. If English is not your first language and Arabic is not your first language, and now you're reading do not.
Referring to the
No,
last
but hold
bit of
on,
that verse.
guys,
Can you
please,
respond to the
let me finish. If English is not your first language, but it's clear that it's not, yeah. And Arabic is not your first language, which once again is very clear that it's not.
Respond to the last
Now hold
bit
on,
of the
I'm
verse.
speaking. So what I'm saying is that if it's not your first language and you're reading an English text and you don't understand the text because of language barrier, it's unfair for you to come forward and proclaim in front of everyone that the Quran says something which actually is the opposite of what you're claiming to be the truth. Now, at the end of the verse, it says that He is to them forgiving. In other words, because Allah, there's a principle in Islam which is لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها, that Allah does not overburden a soul with more than it can handle. So in other words, if a prostitute or if a captive is being forced, she's not going to get a sin for that because she is not someone who has decided to do it.
Allah forgive her.
But Allah forgives it for her,
Can I-
not for the
can I
person who's
respond?
putting it.
So my understanding
put in
understanding,
the
because
woman.
I've read that verse, my understanding is that Allah is saying that do not force people into prostitution. However, if you force people into prostitution, Allah is merciful and forgiving.
No, that's
To the
wrong.
girl, to the girl.
So are you saying
to
that
her,
that's
to
not
her.
the case?
That's
No,
what it
it's
says.
saying to the person.
No, it doesn't say that.
And
So read it again.
Got it wrong then.
So you can't read English or Arabic. I will just accuse you of illiteracy. I will just have to accuse you of illiteracy.
Allah is forgiving.
You can't understand the language.
Whoever compels them, then surely after their compulsion, Allah is forgiving.
To whom?
Yeah, it's
Give it to whom?
After their compulsion, he is forgiving.
I'm going to move this on because
That's a misunderstanding of English. Forget about Arabic. That's not that you can't. Sorry, you don't understand English. You don't get English.
Would you say that Muhammad's example promotes having sex or rape or whatever with young girls? Would you say that? Because that's the accusation we would make.
So it depends on how you define a girl. So the thing is, for us as Muslims, let me be honest with you right here and right now, yeah? What we say is that there are 3 things that determine puberty, yeah? In Islam. For a woman, there are 4. Number 1 is the menstruation. Number 2 is when there is pubic hair in certain regions. Number 3 is when the person reaches the age of 15. These are things which, if any one of them happen, according to the Islamic discourse, the person becomes pubescent. Now, is it possible for there to be someone who is 15 and hasn't gone through puberty? Yes, it's possible, just as in this country the age of consent is 16. And so someone can be 16 and not go through age.
Muhammad have sex with Aisha?
So according to Bukhari, it's 9 years old.
Okay, so logically, I'm saying that logically, I would think if Muhammad is the best example for mankind, that means, and he's the best example for all time, that means it's okay if I'm a Muslim man.
Do you disagree with that?
One second. I'm saying. So what is your response? So if
so wait, hold on.
So I would say that if someone that is supposed to be the best example sleeps with someone, as you agree, at age 9, then that means that gives me as a Muslim, if I'm a Muslim man, me as a Muslim man, that gives me the authority to then sleep.
No. Let me tell you why. Actually, it's with this mas'ala, with this situation, the scholars have attached it to something called a qaida, and it's not puberty. This is a wrong thing Muslims say. I will correct it now, yeah? The principle is not when the guy or when the girl becomes pubescent that she can then have intercourse. That's not what we say. Our principle is that it's based on the hadith, which is a general hadith which says la darar wa la darar, that you can't harm anyone and you can't be the cause of any harm to anyone else. So in other words, from the Islamic perspective, yes, it's not puberty that determines when someone should have intercourse. It's hold on, let me finish. It's according to the Islamic discussion, it's actually the principle of harm. So harm, when we say harm, in the society that we live in, if you ask me, in this society in the 21st century, if I go to year 5 class, and I take out a 9-year-old, would it harm her for her to be in a sexual relationship? I will say yes, it would harm her. Back in the days, that might not have been the case because of different sociological, anthropological reasons. Now, so it's contingent upon that which is definable as harmful. So if the person, and by the way, in the Islamic model, we also have expert testimony. So here, in this country, any doctor will tell you that for the most part, having sexual intercourse with maybe a 12-year-old is going to harm her. So we would say, since that is the case, and hold on, let me know, because you asked me a question, you need to have a full answer. So since there is harm attached to it in today's society, we can't do it. And also there's the law. There's the law which we have to abide by as well, because it's the country law. Now, having said that, that's the reasons why we will say. Now you can have someone who's 16 years old, who's gone through puberty, who has not gone through puberty. You can have a 15-year-old who has not gone through puberty. You can have a 14-year-old who has not gone through it. And these are ages in the West of consent, 14, 15, 16. Now, in Islam, in that case, it would be haram to marry those individuals because it would still harm them.
Right.
Do you get me?
I get your point. So what he's saying is that it's a principle of harm, number one, and this principle of
it's not puberty, not puberty.
So as long as you don't cause harm,
okay. So, I guess your prophet was disagreeing with you. Let me look at the couple.
No, as I said, different societies have different standards. That's what I said. So I don't think he would disagree with me.
Jabir bin Abdullah. When I got married, Allah supposed to say to me, what type of lady have you married?
And what's this got to do with
replied,
grooming anyways?
I have married a matron. He said,
Yes.
why don't you have a liking for a
No,
virgin
I'm happy as well.
and start funding them? Jabir also said,
So you haven't mentioned anything about the Bible.
why
I've mentioned numbers. Why don't we talk about that?
You can play with her.
So you don't want to talk about that?
Why didn't you marry
Because
young
I've answered
girl
your question.
so you can play with her?
Yeah. No, but anyways, I'm hoping that. Look, I don't want to cut you off. You said 20 minutes. Now we've gone over the 20 minutes because I've told that guy over there that I'm going to speak to him. Yeah.
Do you want to hear about the Bible?
You stood
No, if you want to speak about the Bible, I'll give you a minute to do it now.
Yeah, numbers.
Numbers 31:18.
Let her finish
How
the
can
point.
you justify
Let her finish- I'm
that
finished.
there's a
Let her
command
finish
from
the point.
Jesus
Have you finished
to
it?
go and rape the young girls?
We'll come to that. Have you finished it?
No, don't just come to it. I'm giving you the time now. I'm giving you a chance.
So here's the thing.
She's going to try to avoid that now.
I'm giving you a chance.
I am making a point
Yeah.
because Islam gives no view to the woman. Therefore, Pakistani Muslims grooming is all right. And the way you are talking to me just confirm that yes, Islam does give no view to the non-Muslim woman. Let me respond to the numbers. Numbers 31.
I didn't hear you say that.
Yeah, go.
They were the ones who followed the Balaam's advice and were the means of turning the Israelites away from the Lord. In what?
Get her to
happened
read it, please, so
at
everyone can
Moab.
understand.
So, that the blood starts to
She's
Lord's
destroying
people.
the English.
Now,
Can you read it
all the
so
boys.
everyone can
Oh, yeah,
understand
and
it?
Yeah.
kill every woman who has slept with a man. But save for yourself every girl
Yeah.
who never slept with a man.
So what are we gonna do with
All
them?
of you
Play games?
who have killed
Play
anyone
poker?
or touched anyone who was killed must stay outside of the camp 7 days.
Yeah. So what should we do about
On
that
the
verse?
third
Should we take that out of the
and
Bible?
7 days you must purify yourself and your captives.
Okay.
So
Allah
Yes.
provides that.
let's
So there's
say
the Bible.
no,
There's the Bible
I haven't
provides
finished,
the
ma'am. Hold on.
Be
I haven't
honest.
finished.
Yes,
So
Let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Let's
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
what they need to do with those virgin girls. Every girl who never slept with a man. You go to the Deuteronomy.
Let's go to the
chapter
exegesis.
21.
Why should we go there? It's all
Yeah,
there.
it's there.
You
It's
go
there
to the
already.
Listen, why should we go to
Deuteronomy
everyone?
chapter
You're
21,
being
which
rude
tells
now.
you
You need to respond.
what you need to do with those virgin girls.
Okay.
When you go to the war
Yeah.
against your enemies,
Yeah.
and the Lord your God delivers
What verse
them
is this? What number?
into your hands.
What number are we on?
And take your captives. If you notice, among the captives, a beautiful woman are
Sell them.
attracted to her, you may take her as your wife. Bring her into your home.
So you're allowed to take the young ones for your wife? Yeah. Okay.
Make
Yes.
her
The young ones.
Shave
Alright.
her head.
Yeah, don't.
Trim her nails. Make her shave her head, trim her nails. So you look after
Read verse
her.
10, read verse 10.
You look after her.
Read verse 10, read verse
And
10.
put aside the clothes she was wearing when captive.
They are don't
After
the
she
young
has
girls. They
lived
should
in her
ransom.
house
Ransom them.
and mourn after her mother and her mother for a month. So when you take the slave girls,
The
look after
young one,
them.
the young one, yeah?
You looked after them. You give them time for
Read,
mourning.
read,
biscuit
For
and
their
read,
father
read
and
Deuteronomy
for their
21:10.
mother.
Read this, read this, read this.
It hasn't finished
Read
yet.
this,
It
read
hasn't
21:10.
finished yet.
Yeah, 21:10.
You give them time to mourn for her father
Read
and her
21:10.
mother
Oh,
for
so you
months.
kill
Warn.
the parents, but you give
Then
them time to
Yeah,
you
to
go
warn,
her,
yeah, kill them.
go to her and be her husband.
What do you mean not fair? The
And
Bible.
she shall be your wife. She shall be your wife.
Even she's young, even she's
If
young.
you're
I
not
force her.
pleased with her,
Forced marriage.
let her
Forced marriage.
go
Forced marriage.
wherever she wishes.
Okay.
You must not sell her or treat her
Any
as
last
your
words?
slaves. Since you have dishonored her. This is the very verse actually.
Yeah?
Confirms Muhammad cannot be prophet because introduction given to the prophet Moses. Yet, what is
Bible.
Muhammad
In
the
your Bible,
prophet?
Anyways, any
Sophia,
questions? Any
what did
final
Muhammad-
remarks?
Sir,
Yes,
did
sir.
Muhammad fulfill this promise when
Why would he need to?
Sophia?
It's corrupted, miss.
Okay, so we're going to summarize
Corrupted.
That is hold on.
the Bible, yeah, Muhammad.
It's a corrupted,
Again, shows
Any questions?
how
Any
Muslims
questions?
All right.
give a very low view of non-Muslims. That's very disrespectful, sir. You are very disrespectful.
Take care, bye.